PUDCAST time. It's PUDCAST time. It's PUDCAST time. It's PUDCAST time.
Well, on that note, what's up, y'all? It's your boy Horace, chilling here with my boy JP.
What up?
Our boy Nick Silcox, aka Nick Slickcox, aka the Blue Collar Scholar, aka Big Dick Nick.
He's another big dick Nick.
This is the PUDCAST. You know what the fuck it is? He's Biggest Dick Nick.
Oh shit!
Like
Who's the other one?
Nick Sands is Big Dick, but he's the biggest
dick.
He's the
Sorry,
BSD, the big swinging dick.
There's also Big Dick Rick. We got a lot of big dick friends.
Yeah.
Anything that
We
rhymes
don't know
with
their dick size.
any name that rhymes with Big Dick, we're gonna put Big Dick in front of. It's just gonna happen. This is the PUDCAST. We can start with the presenting of gifts, the gift giving ritual.
Oh sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you want to do that first, or should I give the?
Would you like to go first?
Sure. Yeah. So I brought for the wall
For the Ric Flair wall.
Yeah. The my flare is this zine from Syracuse from the mid '90s.
Really?
Yeah. That I found.
So that's like the OG zine.
Yeah.
Really?
This was like reprinted a couple times too because it was really popular. But it's like from 1995, so it was like right when Earth Crisis was like starting to get big.
Holy crap.
Shout out.
And it's about animal liberation and social revolution. It's kind of manifesto, but it particularly calls out the like we're vegan and pro-life kind of bullshit that Earth Crisis was about. So this was like directly in response to that. I found it in college, and I kept a copy for a long time.
It was a response to the hardline movement that was around back then, which is a very extreme version of vegan straight edge.
Yeah. So it talks a lot about like the kind of like weird purity like drive of like vegan straight edge.
It almost had like that blend almost had sort of like an Abrahamic religion vibe to it.
And it's like kind of it's like we've talked about this like reactionary and kind of conservative.
Yeah.
And so it like outlines like how to like put that sort of politics in line with like working class struggle, like
that's what's up.
Struggle. It meant a lot to me, and I thought it made sense because you guys have been talking a lot about history of the local scene.
That rules, dude.
Yeah,
I could take a gander at that.
This is sick.
Yeah, this dude was like an organizer and he was part of like a radical media.
He was in the Syracuse punk and hardcore scene.
Yeah, for a long time.
Brian A. Dominic.
Yeah.
Reach out.
Yeah, he was with I think the guy Anthony Nocella. He was like
I remember I met him a couple times, but he's like a professor.
He's like an animal activist.
He's like a
guy.
scholar. He was hanging around us a lot in like 07, 06 era.
Yeah, there's like a kind of history of like the radical like animal rights people like in Syracuse, and the Anthony Nocella is one of those. Brian Dominic's one of those.
So you still
people.
Fuck with him?
Do I fuck with Anthony Nocella?
Yeah,
I was like a part of this group that he was a part of about like studying like animal issues.
Yeah.
And he seems like he's mostly backed off like all of the like really radical shit. So he's like fine, but I don't really talk to him anymore.
Okay, you don't keep in
No.
touch with him or
nah. And he's like I'm friends with him on like social media or whatever, and he mostly just turned into like a guy who like exercises, like a white dude who like runs and stuff.
Oh, cool. I'm working on my fitness. Hashtag goals.
Joe Rogan type, posting gym pictures and whatnot.
Yeah.
Damn. This is about the only workout I do. Watch.
12-ounce curls. So you're a vegan?
Yeah.
Okay, that kills my gift for you, but
I think you'll still
Nick
like
will just eat it, or me and Joe will just eat them.
Oh, you got wrap snacks?
Yeah,
those things are sick.
Chips or
Cardi B.
If you like the bag, you can have it when I'm done with it.
Those were all over Philly. Those things are the shit.
These are wrap snacks. There are rapper themed snacks, as the name would imply.
Yeah. Wait, do you only have Cardi?
We got one from our boy Zeke Zahn.
Oh,
it's Lil Boozy, badass, Louisiana Heat, dank chips. JP found out that they sell these at Walmart, and these are the Cardi B version.
Yo, they sell those at the Walmart in Auburn?
Yeah.
So stop.
I
up
only
on
saw
it.
this flavor, so
And
we'll see how it is.
many of you Pudheads know I've had like a love affair. Well, not a love affair, a celebrity crush on Cardi B. And JP can. This is from the Love and Hip Hop days. This is way before.
Oh, yeah.
Before she got her teeth fixed.
Yeah,
I have
shout out to
loved
last
Cardi B
episode.
forever. I love
Joe loves
you.
fucked up teeth.
Leave Offset. Yeah, I love fucked up teeth.
But it's got to be
Character.
to an injury or to or from like genetics. It can't be like due to
Poor
poor
oral
oral
hygiene.
hygiene.
So
That's a whole
rampant
other
drug
topic.
use,
That's
I
a whole
guess.
nother podcast.
yeah. So leave Offset. Come see me.
Did she leave Offset? Because I'm pretty sure it was Rocky.
No,
or
I think they got-
he
they
cheats
bought it.
on her, but she's just
They got
like,
back together.
yeah, she's
Did
just
they
like,
really?
she's like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, as long as I don't know about it. It's what it's like. That's how they want to deal with their like relationship.
Do it for the
Yeah.
kid.
All more power to them. But I will munch on these chips like I would munch on your butt. So
Would you let her take a dump on your chest?
Why not?
nope.
Sorry.
So
I have a habit of
Why
killing
not?
it right
So-
off the get go.
the fact that I'm going to say no comment, I had to think about it for a while. I'll let y'all come to your own conclusions on that one.
Yeah, it was in the pauses. That
I'm
was a
gonna
deep,
say-
heavy pause.
I'm not going to plead the fifth on that one. Yes.
That's my dog.
So,
Yeah, cheddar barbecue. I'm definitely about to try these. Those boozy ones were quite.
Spicy?
they were
Oh.
spicy.
They
They're very salty too. Like
They
my
will-
personality.
Yeah, they will
Spicy and
murk your
salty?
ass instantly.
Maybe a little too much salt,
Yeah.
but it had a good amount of heat. So
Where'd
thank
you-
you, Zach Zahn.
Did you get those in Buffalo?
We got him from Zach Zahn. He was doing a guest spot at Working Class Tattoo
Very
on
sick
James Street
shop.
in Syracuse. Shout out to Kyle Norcross. And he just because he posted something about it, and of course me and Jake were like,
Yes.
sick. He's like, yo, I got you 2 guys and some bags of it.
This product is made for guys like us
Oh yeah.
that just like the
Yeah,
whole look
like
of the whole
wrap
thing.
snacks.
It could suck, and I would still
They're
buy
specifically
everyone.
like I'm just gonna go out on a limb there. They're specifically made for like white nerds.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to see the demographics on
Like
the purchasing.
real heads are not fucking with rap snacks.
Yeah.
You know?
I doubt this is that good, but you know, it's for the bag. It's for the pud wall.
We do it for
We-
the bag. Yeah, yeah.
We secured the bag.
Secured
Secure the
bag.
bags. And
So
Whoa.
what we got you
Yeah,
and
these-
there's one for each of us.
These
We-
cans are fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
They're so damn big.
I'm like terrifying and like chubbed up at the same time.
we copped the coveted, but maybe not so much anymore because when I went there, it wasn't really a big deal. The ones coveted,
Ass riot.
yeah,
That's
that'd be sick. The Mass Riot, Prison City Beer. Shout out to Max Goldner. So yeah, we're gonna
Try
crack
it.
these
Have
open.
you had it before?
No,
None of us have had it before.
it's
No,
my
this is-
first time.
Damn.
Honest opinion, boys.
How do you open these?
We're not about to be sponsored by it.
Rip it off. Rip it off.
That's what she said.
Yeah, rip it off.
So this is a 32-ounce Crowler can, celebrating by the logo our prison industrial complex,
you.
which fuels our town. So I apologize to all the families that have been ruined by the prison industrial complex. So I'm sorry.
Damn.
Just like our friends that are locked up, Prison City locks up that flavor.
Yeah. Yo, I like that. That could be their new slogan.
Let's pour one for our homies that
Crack it
in
open.
prison, you know, right down our throats. This is terrifying. That's aggressive.
It's just so big. I can't even hold on to it.
That's what she said.
That was a good one.
Nice head on it. That's what she said.
Oh, it'll definitely fit. And I'm keeping it what I can. I'm not even drunk.
Damn,
I
son.
don't care.
Early reviews, it's fine.
Nothing
First
to write
taste?
home about. No disrespect, but seeing we're denying our palates right now, boys, we should really be pouring it into a glass.
Oh
Let it
yes,
air out.
yeah.
All the snobs out there are freaking stewing. They're about to be flaming us on our.
drinking it right.
Is that still a thing, or has the craft beer like snobbery shit mostly passed? I feel like most people have chilled out on it.
I chilled out on it, although I don't think I was ever a snob. At one point, I would seek out this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
but yeah, I
This
don't know
can
what
is
kind
fucking weird. It's like I haven't had like a 40 in so long, and I'm used to like the 24 ounce.
it's weird to have a can that's like that's close to a 40. Too.
Yeah.
Yeah, holy crap.
It's weird. It's like making me want to like pound it more. That's what she said.
Big pounders.
Which isn't good. I'm gonna put it down. Oh, and it's gonna like fall over. Jesus, this was a bad idea on my part, boys.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to be careful. I'm gonna be twisted after this thing.
Yeah. What is it? 6.9?
Yeah.
69?
It's
No,
hot.
6.8.
6.8. No, they couldn't just add that extra.
That
one.
extra
They should have
0.1%.
they should have the 0.1 and no, they can do the 0.1 and it'll be the ass riot.
You know what I think they did?
69 S,
What's
right?
that?
Hear me out. This is what I think they did. They false demand by holding back supply.
Oh, that's
yeah.
a real thing. That's a real thing. Yeah.
They did it with diamonds back in the day, and they do it with the beer. They built their hype for like 2 years.
The Sony PlayStation 2,
It
they
is good. It's
made
good.
less on purpose.
Yeah.
Well, there's all these like pizza places in big cities too that'll be like, we're only making 200 pies today. So then they get like a line out the door of people trying
And
to
they
get
charge like 3 times the
it.
price.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
I believe that.
It's a good business model if you can pull it off.
Yeah, true. Until people get wise to
We're
it.
only going to make
But you
10
made your money.
podcast episodes.
Yeah.
Once everyone figures
watching.
out it sucks, then you're fucked.
Yeah. It's like the cronut. Remember that stupid thing?
I remember it. I've never had one.
I had one at Dunkin'
Yeah.
Donuts and we
It was like five.
I don't think those were the
capital
capital
of
of time.
the capital of cronuts.
The line was around the building.
But
The drive-through.
to, as some people say, we should change our name to the Shout Outs podcast. Again, I just want to shout out Working Class Tattoo, Syracuse, great shop. We also want to shout out Blake Chamberlain.
Oh shit! Yeah, we got major things.
He has an
happening.
art show going in Auburn. Him and his wife just moved back. I bought one of his paintings. It will be prominently featured on the podcast. We may be a bunch of goofballs, but we support the local arts
for sure.
So I just want to give a shout out to Blake.
That's
Mostly
cool.
through getting tatted up. But
Yeah.
I'll get some shit for the wall.
Yeah.
Is the at the Schweinworth?
No, it's actually it's right next to Shep's Good Shepherd's Beer. It used to be the downtown bid office, and Blake just kind of set up shop. He's got paintings for sale, and there's other artists that are there. And like he'll just be there chilling, painting, hanging
That's
out.
cool.
Yeah,
That's sick.
yeah. So definitely
Nice.
support the local art.
We got some more contributions.
Come
from,
on the podcast too, Blake, please.
Yeah. Nick hooked us up with some old flyers from like the 03
that's
to
sick.
05 era.
Shout outs to Young Sands, former guest,
Yep.
Damn.
current Pudhead, and he said he's gonna get more. He says he has more at his family's house, even better shit.
Damn. Yeah,
Where did he have all these in his house?
Yeah, they just happened to be at his house. They're in some kind of secret Al Capone's vault, I believe. So
The like small ones like that are even harder to hold on to because you just like
That's
hand
what she
those out
said.
to people, and I feel like they're even more rare. Nice, dude. You're all over those.
dude, he will get me all day and all night, even on text.
These big cans, fucking all over it.
yeah, so we're just working. Oh, we got Thad Jackson sticker
Yep.
from when he was at Year of the Dragon.
That's way back.
Some of y'all don't even know. That's where he apprenticed.
And he was at the Year of the Drag when they were up on Genesee, not on.
Oh yeah, it was when they're on the shop front,
Loop
old
Road or
ones,
Dill
instead of the
Street.
old bike shop.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Damn, it's really coming together. You guys started out with like nothing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Started from the bottom. Now we're here.
Now we here.
So what's up? What do you want to give the people? So we're doing like for our guests now. We want to do like a origin story. You want to give a little like blurb about your life, your upbringing, what you're doing right now, what you're interested in, Like, let all the pud heads know. We got like three or four people out there.
Yeah, 3
Watching.
to 4 at any given moment.
No women, only guys.
Yeah, word. Okay. Sure. Yeah. So I from Port Byron. Shout out to
Really?
Port Byron
Port
originally.
Byron!
I thought you were a weed po head.
Yeah, so both my parents are born and bred Port Byroners. And
Pig barn.
I was born there. I lived on Orchard Street for a while.
In
Shout out
Port
to
Byron.
Old Block.
West Village. Yeah. And then then at some point after my parents split, we moved to Weedsport. I've been in Weedsport forever. Weedsport sucks. Shout out to Weedsport.
Shane D's first email address was weedsportsucks89@hotmail.com.
Yo, I'm about to
SUX.
email that. I'm about to email him and see if he replies.
So you're not the only one that feels that way.
With like underground stuff, like I feel like it wasn't till high school. I don't know. This is a thing. A lot of people. I've talked to you about this before. I don't know if I've talked to you about this. Like, I feel like a lot of people come to this stuff because like shit happens in their life that sucks.
Yeah.
Right. And so my dad was like trash. Shout outs to dad.
Fuck you.
I came to like underground stuff through the politics of it. Like I like wanted to learn how to be a good person, and like punk, I think is like one way of doing that when you're a teenager.
Damn.
I was there for the violence.
Yeah, that's respectable. A lot of people don't go through it from that angle.
Well, it's actually funny because like I knew about like everything that was happening in Auburn before I like started to make connections with you guys. But
what
it
was happening in Auburn at that time?
I knew there were shows. I knew there was like a group of people that like were like alternative or whatever. I also like I would have never called myself straight edge, but I didn't drink or whatever for like the same reasons many of y'all didn't. And but I didn't get involved because I always heard shit about people like fighting people, and I was like, that's
Because
not
you
my
were
life.
scared.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
But in reality, we were all scared.
Yeah. But also, it seemed like the shit that I heard was bigger than it was actually.
Yeah, because
Like-
the lie just,
Yeah.
the fish just keeps getting bigger.
Yeah. Like I've told you this before.
Yeah, they fucking killed some guy and they fucking
Yeah, dude.
chopped his head off.
For real. I always heard shit about, and feel whatever, cut this if this is not right. But I always heard shit about Sean Stein. Sean Stein, I think people are just afraid of the fact that he had a ton of tattoos like at a young age. Like it wasn't.
Well, yeah, that
That's
was
a bit
part
shocking
of it.
to see.
Yeah.
But like that dude does not give a fuck. Like he doesn't care if he's outnumbered, if you're bigger than him. He's not afraid to get beat up.
But
That's the thing. He just has no fear.
What took
Shout out
me
to Sean Stein.
Yeah. Shout out to Sean Stein.
You know?
What took me years to realize was that our parents, through being like people who like use shit, were actually friends. And like I knew Sean from the time I was like a young kid.
Yeah. And like now it's like you see kids with a face tattoo, but in 2007, if you saw like an 18-year-old kid, which he was at the time, with a face tattoo and a bunch of other tattoos, like
And that's
shaved head.
He was way ahead of that curve on that.
That was really about that life.
Yeah.
Like that is kind of scary.
And Sean's also like a really
sure.
sweet guy. Like I feel like
Oh,
that's
yeah.
yeah. And like there are other things too. Like I've told you, like people thought of you as like a person that was mean, and wasn't my
He is.
experience of you after the fact.
I was mean. I'm not mean
So-
anymore though.
I never that and the fact that I was like deeply introverted and didn't really like talking to people. I never came out to stuff, but then like I got into shows and I got more into like activism. Like I was really into anarchy and the stuff around anarchism for a really long
But
time.
can you, like, I mean, we can get into the weeds here, but can you just like a very quick, succinct of what like anarchy is? Because some people think, oh no, government anarchy
dude.
in the UK, like, but
Right.
it's not that.
The A
It's
symbol.
more thought out than that, folks.
Yeah. So anarchy is like a lot of people in Auburn actually like are anarchy adjacent, right? So anarchy is like one kind of like libertarianism. and that you like move through the world believing
Not the Ron Paul kind.
not the Ron Paul, not the Rand Paul, none of that. But it's like
Douchebags.
the idea that you you don't need like a government to
No gods, no masters.
tell you what to do, right? So if you're like anti-police, like that's like an anarchist position to take, because like we don't need people to tell us what to do. We can decide what to do for ourselves. But it also comes with this other component that most people don't like,
Anti-capitalist.
of like learning how to also take care of each other people, like being accountable to other people around you, which is at its best what punk is, right? Like you go to a show, like you make space for people of all ages, you like provide an alternate way of being for people that are like fucked up by their parents and their communities. I had like the best shows I've ever been to. It feels like
DIY.
Yeah. That's what DIY
There's no
is.
corporate sponsorships or anything.
Nah, yeah, and it's like everyone takes care of each other. Like you watch out for the cops. Like you're navigating the fact that people are like persecuted. Like all and
In
like,
theory,
yeah.
it doesn't always work that way, but everyone's kind of.
This is all theoretical. But like the best shows I've ever been to are the ones where like it's in somebody's basement and like it feels like the like revolution's happening, right? Like people are just like energetic, but also like thinking about the fact that they're there and like living that moment. Like that's cool. But obviously that doesn't happen all the time. Like some people are shit in all scenes. Like people are trash.
In any kind of
Yeah.
subculture or broader
Yeah.
culture, there's always going to be shit bags.
But that's what I was really into for a while. And like environmental shit's always kind of been my thing. That was my thing even here. I think like because the lakes are such a presence that like influence my sense of the environment or whatever. But like there's all these like activist groups that Brian Dominic and Anthony Ancella were connected to, like the Environmental Liberation Front, Animal Liberation Front, that are like anarchist groups that had like punk ties. That was like kind of my shit for a while. But I still like anti-police, anti-fascist. Shout out to Antifa, you're doing God's work. What's up? But
hell yeah.
Yeah, fucking punch not that was so cool to learn
Tim
about
Steniford.
that fucking Nazi rally in Auburn. That people like responded to that.
Did you learn about that on the podcast?
Yeah, I had no idea.
really?
I had no idea. And that was like what, the 90s?
93.
93, yeah.
Yeah, so I was around. I was living on Orchard Street at the time, but I mean,
Yeah, but you were like 2 years
yeah,
old.
yeah,
right.
My mom was also like way too young to make note of shit like that. So, but that was wild to learn about. That's cool. Like that makes me feel good about being from here.
Proud to be an Auburnian.
Yeah, shout out to Auburn.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't think anyone was really thinking that highly of it. They just were just wanting to kick some ass.
Yeah.
But still, they recognized the evil.
So speaking of
And
what
they
you're
just-
saying, and again, I can't speak for anyone, but I know like I read the shit is in. They did like a farticle, like it was like 25 years later or whatever.
Retrospective.
Yeah, and there were anti-racist, anti-fascist people there that did confront
that's
the
cool.
Nazis and stuff, and it was that presence. But an anecdote from my dad when he worked construction then, and I have asked him about it. He wasn't there, but he said like, yeah, like a lot of the guys that I work with went there, and he's like, they weren't any of these like anti-racist people. They were just a bunch of drunks that wanted to fight someone.
Right.
So speaking to your point, yeah, that is. But
There's some of that
Yeah.
at least. No, I'm not taking away from it. I'm just saying there's probably a fair amount of
I
kicking around.
watch out for Ozzy.
yeah. I'm gonna pull up a little bit right
He's
here.
the Prince of Darkness. Be careful.
I would just say like I think it's also worthwhile to not be ideologically informed and want to punch a Nazi in the face. Like I think that that's fine.
Yeah.
Like if
Like,
if you're looking for a fight, look for a fight with a Nazi. Punch them in the face. You know.
It's so intuitive. Like,
Yeah.
I see evil. I'm just going to punch this guy.
Yeah.
And like,
It doesn't
that's
have
just
to
so
be-
obvious.
It doesn't have to be like some high-minded bullshit. Like I feel like if something makes you mad and you feel like you can do something about it, and it's like feels ethically okay, fucking
Yeah.
punch a Nazi in the
Well,
face.
and that's the
you know?
thing too. And it's like, shout outs to Brian Buskey.
Oh,
But it's
big
like,
shout outs.
how
He's our
can
boy.
how can you sit down and talk with a Nazi that wants to take away your right to free speech, wants to take other people's rights to exist. How can you even sit down and compromise with someone like that? You can't compromise with a Nazi.
Yeah, I mean, I get what Brian was saying.
I get what in
you pick the broad picture.
the broad picture.
Yeah.
You can't compromise with a Nazi.
Yeah, yeah. And that's like also that's like a thing about like hardcore and punk that like I always love too is like at some point there is like a level of not willing to be able to compromise, right? Like you choose to exist in a way that people don't want you to, and that's like its own kind of like refusal to compromise, and that's cool. Like I think that that's like a rare thing in this world. And
what I've noticed too is that like the left is always asked to compromise with the right, but the right's never asked to compromise with the left.
Yeah.
We constantly have to kowtow to them.
Yeah.
And it's just it's a constant take.
Yeah.
And then you look around and everything's gone.
And like a way to think about this that's like, again, like less high-minded is like I'm sure most of the people who listen to this, and like I know you guys and me included,
like 3 people
Shout
who
out to you.
Luke Powers.
We've all had like interactions with like local police that are fucking trash, right? Like, and I feel like a refusal to just like bow to their authority is like something that's actually worthwhile. Like it's like saying fuck the police in the context of like you're being unfair to me. It's a good thing to do.
The big picture.
Yeah, it's like challenging that authority sometimes is a good thing, and that's like something that I think like hardcore and punk gave me. I didn't always have like a frame of doing that, which I feel grateful for. You know,
like you were angry and you didn't know why you were angry, but then you started to read all these things.
Yeah,
like, okay,
yeah.
this is why I'm pissed off.
Or even like you're angry and you just find a place to direct that.
Yeah,
even
you just go in the pit and just fuck people up.
Yeah, which is also totally valid and cool. Yeah. So I that was like my shit for a while, and that like built
when you were going to school in Philly.
Yeah.
So you really got like absorbed into the Philly punk subculture.
Yeah, I was like going to shows, and also like Occupy was happening at the time. I got involved with this like prison abolition group. That's what I did while I was there. And after I graduated, I knew I wanted to move to a city, so I moved to Philly because it was the closest place. And I was like, really,
it's kind of like a non-gentrified city.
Yeah, it's
I like that city.
Yeah, it's a place where like real people still live, which is not true of some of the other places people move to. You
right.
know? Yeah.
New York City is all owned by it's
New
all
York
corporate.
City is a Disneyland.
Brooklyn is a fake, like the places people that we know move to in Brooklyn are just fake places. Like they're not real.
Like they used to be real back in the day, but now it's just
now they're just
yuppie filing cabinets.
Yeah. It's trash. I live in New York now, so I can speak to that too.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a
I didn't know that.
of New York. I owned a dog and it was sad once.
That one street, what is it? The hipster fucking having is it Bedford?
Bedford Ave, yeah.
Dude, I went
Bed-Stuy.
I walked down that street, like I never saw so much garbage on the side of the road.
Maybe it was garbage day.
Shit stock. No, it was just like loose garbage on the street. I'm like, this is horrible.
Yeah, dude.
I mean,
I thought that was like a nice part now.
No, so that's the thing though, is like people pay a lot to live there, but it's also still basically the same.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just like it's like the same trash, but with like an artisanal mayonnaise shop.
Artisanal mayonnaise. That's hot.
It's just like a higher brow of trash now litters the street.
Right. Give me coffee cups instead of like those little Dunkin' Donuts
or
things.
like the Greek coffee cups.
Happy to serve
I
you.
like those.
Yeah,
Every time I see
cool.
those, I just think New York City and Law and Order and shit.
Dun, 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 dun. Down, 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 down. Bow, 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 bow.
Shout out to Law and Order.
They always found the dead body. It'd be like a brownstone, but you know, like like there's like the stairs, but there's like that scummy door by the stairs. It's where they always found the body.
Right.
Always. But I still love that show.
Me too.
Which one? Original, SVU?
I like
The
original and SVU.
I didn't get into the SVU.
SVU is wild.
Early SVU.
SVU, I
With
just don't like that. I don't like
Benson
that weird stuff. It's
Yo,
really weird.
You know what I do
perverted
like about
shit.
SVU though? Iced-T.
Ice-T is cool.
Olivia Benson.
That one lady,
Shout
Mariska
Yeah.
Hargitay.
yeah.
Total babe. Holla at your boy. Mariska
Yeah, I know
Hargitay
you're watching.
2019. Holla at your boy. All right.
Oh, for sure.
Oh man.
And Elliot Stabler, have you ever watched Oz?
Nah, I've been meaning to watch that for years.
If you want to have
though.
your mind blown,
That show was scary.
watch Oz, and it'll change your mind about Elliot Stabler.
You ever
Not
been-
the character, but the guy who plays him.
You ever been to New Orleans?
No, I'd like to though.
Yeah.
Nolans.
That's like the
No,
like my top. I like of all the places in the
Noah.
U.S. Like I want to go there the most.
Who
I'd
you?
like to check
Yeah,
that
yeah.
out too.
New Orleans seems cool.
I don't know. I wouldn't know.
I just know there's
Didn't the
like
storm like wipe everything out though?
Like the ninth
so
ward.
no like yes and no. One thing that I mean the storm obviously like it decimated people's lives, whatever. But also because of that, like the ninth ward became like this kind of space of like punk like centricity in New Orleans, like because it was
No
so cheap
shit.
to live
I
there.
did not know that.
So people like started putting on shows and doing like anarchist spaces and that sort of shit, which is cool.
Yeah,
What
it is.
kind of, so what are some of the bands that have come from that scene?
The shit that so I had a friend who lived there who was like lived in like a collective house, and the shit was always that they talked about was like weird folk punk stuff, which is
So,
not
like,
my jam.
Against Me
but like not as good. Yeah.
was
Yeah.
Defiance, Ohio. Were they a folk punk band?
Yes. Yeah.
I just didn't get into
Did
it.
you like
I-
folk
I kn-
punk?
No.
I never listened to any of it. I don't
Yeah.
think.
Like dress like a
hated it.
train conductor.
I
and-
will listen to Against Me sometimes, but like the rest of that shit is just not my jam.
I just didn't get into it at all.
Yeah.
Against Me was like the shining example of that
Yeah.
genre, wasn't that?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah, they were the ones that like made it big or whatever. Yeah, but I don't know if that's still because my friend moved from there a few years ago, so I don't know if that's still true. What's up, listeners in New Orleans? Let us know.
Yeah. Kirk Winstein, I think, is watching.
Yes, and singer for I Hate God.
Yep.
It's a big fan.
Yeah, that band rules.
Oh, yeah.
they're from
Fuck
there,
yeah.
but they're really old. Yeah.
That's our shit.
Yeah.
Phil Anselmo listens, I think. He's a Spotify guy.
We don't want him to listen because he's problematic.
Rex Brown.
I fuck with Rex Brown.
Me too.
I don't really know him, but
Me either.
yeah.
I don't know any of them, but I'd like to pretend I do.
Yeah, so I guess so anyway, I moved to Philly, got involved with some like anti-capitalist shit, also lived in a show house, started booking shows.
Started some bands too.
Yeah, I was in a band for a while.
Want to shout out some of your bands?
Check out dogtears.bandcamp.com.
Formerly
See
known
what's
as
up.
A Girl Dog.
You could also check out girldog.bandcamp.com. It's the same band, different
Rips.
music though. Sick. We played in Syracuse. Shout outs to Spit Tapes. Y'all great.
Spit on that tape, baby.
But yeah. So like, I applied to PhD programs. I'm in a literature PhD in New York City,
Pretty hot dude.
or pretty huge dick, which is what I thought you were going
Both.
with.
That's another name for this podcast.
Yeah, I live in Astoria, Queens.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Big up.
Astoria is great. It's a place where it kind of feels like real people still live there.
Yeah.
Most diverse place in the world, Queens.
Queens, yeah,
Yep.
yeah, most diverse country or county in the country or something.
In, I believe the whole world.
Yeah,
I really liked when I was in Astoria the last time. It just seems like a not like an urban wasteland.
Yeah. It's very.
But you're
chill.
so close to everything.
Yeah. It's very chill. It doesn't feel like Brooklyn feels. We've got some friends who live in Ridgewood.
Big hump.
Ridgewood feels like Brooklyn. Like,
Shelly
it feels
Pinker.
Like, yeah. I saw Shelly recently.
Yeah, I know. You told me you went and saw some punk show.
Yeah, went to a show. It was a sick hardcore show. One of the bands, it was like mostly like women-led bands.
That's hot.
One of the band before the headliner, the guitarist was like 8 months pregnant. I was like, that's
Holy
fucking
shit.
badass. Like, you're gonna
But I'm kind of worried.
yeah,
too.
no, I was like,
Like, what if someone in the pit like accidentally?
Like donkey kicks her
she
in the
was
stomach.
up on a stage, so she was finding that way, but it was also like loud as hell.
Right.
And I was like,
that's not good for the baby.
But baby's like,
that's
what
the
the
thing.
fuck
It's
is
not
going
my
on?
place to tell
we
you.
don't know
Yeah.
because we're not the ones with the baby, right? So we don't
It's
know.
not my place to tell
But
you. I'm sorry.
as long as it was fine, that's like a badass thing to do. To be 8 months pregnant, just like rocking at the fucking show. That's sick.
She was a guitar player or bass player?
Yeah, she was guitarist, so she was just like also
gonna say, like,
ripping. No, so one thing, no, dude, yeah,
Resting on top of the stomach?
She, I don't know if this was like some I can't buy a right-handed guitar, or left-handed guitar, or whatever, but she was playing upside down, and it seemed like that was
Jimi
like,
Hendrix style.
Yeah, that was like it made more space for her belly. Honestly,
Holy crap.
which was like also fucking badass because then you learned how to play your guitar upside down just so you could play at the show pregnant as fuck. Which is
Damn.
yeah. Shout out to you. I don't know your name.
Whatever band you're in.
Yeah.
I know you're listening, but
you were great.
See, we don't know who all our fans are, so we can't really keep
we get
track of
the
that.
most random people coming up to us now.
Oh yeah, there were people at the Blake art show that knew who I was.
Wow. What did
Yeah.
they say? What up, horse? From
No,
JP and the horse?
So Blake is a big fan of the show. So Blake, and I've never met him before. So I introduced myself. He's like, "Oh, I'm a big fan of the show, blah blah blah," and like someone who also was, I think it was friends with Blake. They're like, "Oh yeah, you're on that. It's like the horse JP podcast," and I'm like, "It's actually a podcast." He's like, "Oh yeah," and so yeah, people know. There's one person that knows who I am based on the podcast.
It's pretty cool.
So shout
That's
outs to
sick.
them. I think their name is Maureen.
What up, Maureen?
Yeah.
Hopefully there's no creeps out there like watching us like scary.
Like, hey, I'm a big fan of your show. I got a gift for you.
Yeah.
It's in this bag.
It's like a severed
It's
head.
blood just coming out.
Yo, are most of the podcasts because this is like we're gonna talk about Will in a second. Will, I know
He
you
comes up
listen.
every episode.
Big
It's
Hump
all
is-
good.
I'm gonna call
Big
you out.
Hump
in a
is too
second.
much of a scared coward to come on the podcast. I'm calling you out right
Is he
now.
here?
You won't do
Is he
it.
here
You
right now?
won't.
No, you wouldn't. Big Hump is a scared coward. You wouldn't last 10 minutes in our world, bitch.
That's right. Come to the
Shit.
dojo.
Come.
So
we will sweep the fucking leg right here, Big Hump.
I know Will was saying you got to get audio only, which I agree with y'all. Don't need to do that. But are most of the podcasts you listen to visual and audio? Because I feel like I've only ever done
Well,
Actually, mostly video. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
before we are audio only for all you people out there.
where
Spotify.
where can I find you? Where
We're
can
not a true putthead.
I listen to
Get outta
every
here.
fucking episode.
Go.
All right, episode's over. I think his name was Nick Silcox or something.
Fuck that guy.
Because Big Hump,
He showed up, so you got a lot of weight now.
Big Hump
You're
did
cool
the
in
same
our
thing.
book.
He was like, "You guys need to be audio only," and I'm like, "Bitch, we've been audio only for like a month now."
Apple
He's like,
Podcast,
"What?"
Spotify.
I'm sorry.
No,
Well,
you're good. You're good.
Spotify, Apple
That's good.
Podcast,
It's
audio
hard,
only.
but it's also like it's trash to listen to audio only when you have the option to see what you guys are actually. It's like
Yeah,
better.
you
to
can't
get
see
the
me wearing like
full
a
experience.
3X shirt swimming in it.
Yeah, I think it's like the way we do it is like mostly visual.
Mostly visual.
So like, yeah, like we put the audio up for people that do audio.
The flare, right?
Yeah, the
Like,
flare. We like.
Communication is like 80% visual.
What up? Yeah, that's
It
true.
is.
That's true.
At work, I listen to podcasts only because I can't straight up watch them all day. But when I can watch them, I like to watch them.
Is that like a thing? Like, are you allowed to do that? Like, are you allowed to listen to shit? Or
Yeah.
is that's
Oh
cool.
fuck yeah,
That's cool.
yeah. It helps the day go by for sure.
My brother was working at Tessie for a while, and apparently, like, you weren't supposed to have your phone on you, but also like that's how people listen to music and podcasts. So I don't know
Right.
what the fuck that rule doesn't make any sense. Like, he was allowed to listen to podcasts, but not to have his phone
Probably have
on.
to hit play and just
Just
don't
like
even
put
touch
it away.
Right.
Yeah, it just seems like a weird thing, but I don't know. I listen to podcasts like all the time because I'm on a train most like an hour and a half each day. So yeah,
I don't listen to podcasts.
never.
No, Jake, I don't listen to podcasts.
He doesn't.
Jake had to
Wow.
beat me on the head to do this. I did not want to do it.
Yeah.
You listen to
He didn't. I'm pretty sure I said, yo, let's do a podcast. And 2 seconds later, he's like, yeah, I'm down.
No, I didn't want to do that first. I listen to NPR, which is the podcast
the
before
OG
the podcast.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So I guess I do listen to podcasts.
I have listened to so many podcasts in my day that I was just like, it'd be cool to fucking do one. I've listened to a million of them. Me and Joe have good conversations. The shit is no different without the mics in our hand.
No.
I'm like, yeah, let's do one. Bought the
we
shit
don't
and here we
prep or
are.
anything.
No.
Just come out here and start talking.
in case
I
you're
think we got
wondering if
called
this
our
is
pants down
scripted.
maybe once where we're like, we didn't know what to say. Maybe a little
Which
bit.
episode?
It was our second solo.
Yeah, I think it was the Bud Light. No, was it,
It was the
Bud?
Bud Light Visor.
Yeah.
But like we watched it later and we're like, we can't even
was good.
tell.
It's okay. Yeah.
It was good. Yeah.
It's just, we've talked about it before and like, I'm going to sound like a douchebag, but it's like, there are some lame ass motherfuckers out here in this world. And we were just,
Shout outs to you guys.
Yeah.
you know,
Like
why
and
you-
subscribe at least.
don't watch us. I don't want you watching us.
Oh, yeah, good point.
But it's like we were blessed to grow up with a friend group that was just so vibrant and fun and funny and smart, and we'd rip on each other, and it's just I don't know. There's some lame ass motherfuckers out there.
Yeah, I wonder what I would
It's
be
a blessing
like.
and a curse
True.
Why? Why is it a curse?
because I'd rather be blissfully ignorant.
But you
I
can't.
really would, but I can't be. And I'm saying it
Damn.
makes me sound like a douchebag, like I'm like full of myself, but I'd rather be a happy-go-lucky dummy. At the
Damn.
bar right now, drinking Bud Light or Mick Ultra.
Oh,
You say that now, but we're going to the bar later.
We are.
Yeah.
It's news to Joe.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna have to process this. So
take it.
we
in
actually
process.
had multiple people, not to be because we had you booked as a guest for a while, but we were trying to like get people to come here to like hang out, and they're like too
Yeah.
cool to just even come here for like an hour to have a beer and just sit there and laugh,
right.
you know. But it is what it is.
Mhm.
I think people are scared.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they are scared.
It's mostly scared.
Scared.
So I only started to get to hear this the other day, but like, what's like so it sounds like skating was a thing that introduced you to stuff, but like, what brought you to skating? Like, what was the thing that brought you to this sort of shit? That was also
honestly Tony Hawk doing the 900. I mean,
Really?
I it's kind of like a douchey thing to admit to, but like I think a lot of kids my age, me, my brother, X Games,
Yeah.
you know, one thing leads to another. You think vert skating's cool, then you dig a little deeper into the skating world. Video games. The video games have the music. You get a little
Yeah,
taste
yeah.
of the music,
I
and
feel like
then
most
you're
people got their original music taste from like the Tony Hawk's video games.
yeah.
Pretending I'm a Superman. But
And they had some solid hits on there.
I want to speak
Yeah.
to your point because I think about this a lot. So you got me wise to all this mayhem documentary about the Pappas brothers, like influential vert skaters from Australia, from like,
oh fuck
like
yeah!
the pre Tony Hawk, like these dudes were like drug shooting, beer drinking, women fucking heathens, you know? And that's what skating was, you know, it was an outsider thing. And like, I just think it's ironic, like to a lot of skateboarders, like the whole Tony Hawk thing. That's, oh, I fucking hated skateboarding. Then that's when I stopped. He killed skateboarding, but then he spawned an entire generation of kids.
He
to
totally
skate.
revived it.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't know that much about skateboarding, so but if it stayed in that sort of drug kind of thing, maybe it would have died out. You know what I mean? If everyone's just getting into drugs.
Yeah, I mean, and that's like the shit that happens with any subculture, you know? Like someone does one thing well in a way that people like, and then it blows
Fuck
up the
that
spot
guy.
for the people
Yeah.
who are like, you know, trying to just be different. Which is like a valid feeling to like want to feel different than other shit, but also like if it introduces more people to like a different way of life, like that's cool too.
Oh fuck yeah!
That happens like with everything. Like that's like I mean, that's like the mantra of like alternative music for the past like 40 years, that punk's dead, right? Like, but people kept like popularizing new kinds of music. And
shouts to the Exploited, 1982.
Yeah.
Punk's not dead. But we've talked about this before, and I want you to expound on it because you can say it better than me. But like with the internet and social media, is it even possible to have a true subculture anymore?
No,
Like a subterranean world.
No,
is that even possible anymore?
That's a real thing. Like the internet kind of makes everything a subculture, right? So like if everything's a subculture, like there is no subculture.
Nothing's a subculture.
There's no subcultures. It's just subreddits.
Yeah. What? That should be
the name of the episode.
That's all it is.
That's your 4606. No subcultures, just subreddits.
That's all it is, baby.
It's true though. Like
anyone can go online and pick up any flyer or any show video or any story or any blog post or any podcast. And
everyone's also like everyone's constantly carving out their own.
Like you have like a cousin that lives in California, and you got like a suicidal tendencies tape, and it's 1982, and nobody else in Auburn has this, and you're the only one who has it, and you give it to your friend, and they tape it and they dub it. Like that's never gonna happen again.
That being said, though, like I don't know,
it's the only tape that you have, and you listen to it for like 3 months until he comes back again for Thanksgiving, and has a Black Flag tape for, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know how you guys relate to this, but like I don't, because like we grew up in a place where like I wasn't going to Syracuse that often, and I live like in a small ass podunk town. Like if it weren't for the internet, like I wouldn't have known anything, you know.
There's mad people from your same town
who were also
involved in the punk and hardcore.
Yeah. But like that, which is like what I was saying earlier. Like
I think you would have found it.
Shane D and Reggie, and I mean, I eventually found
Scott and Adam.
Yeah, through Katie, right? Like I found something through that, but also like there's something to be said for like not having a fucking record store, not having a tape store like anywhere nearby, and like still being able to find music, right? Like it's a tricky thing because it democratizes things, right? That's what the internet does. It makes it available to everyone, but it also
no gatekeepers.
Nothing is like sacred in the same way, which sucks. Like I totally get why that sucks.
And there's no one there to like vet something or say like, oh, that's not true, or it wasn't this way, or it wasn't that way.
Yeah,
anyone can just say what they want, and they're like, well, that's my opinion.
Yeah. No, that I mean, for sure. The internet like allows people to like have views that they wouldn't be able to have otherwise, for sure. But there is something like Tony Hawk's is part of this, right? Like there's something about mass media that gives us access to shit that we wouldn't have otherwise, because like otherwise everything would be totally regional. And you know,
well, even I mean that's not true now, but like Tony Hawk Pro Skater, that was like a shared cultural moment for like the millennials,
people our age.
So like when I go pretending I'm a Superman, even like some fucking hick that has that's from that Tony Hawk game, right? It was like a shared moment, but that won't ever happen. There's no shared cultural moments anymore.
Yeah, when I was listening to the one with the stuff you've done with Tim and Brian, who y'all seem really cool. Shout out to you.
They're friends.
Yeah, friends.
Like there's no like comparable set of experiences for people our age as to like just hanging out in the record shop or like finding like tape that's like just recorded over. Like that's not like a thing that we did, you know. And it sucks, like because that seems like maybe more real in some way.
It's like a tangible thing.
Yeah. But it's also like it's like the internet's not inherently bad, but what it does to like the spaces that we
use
have
for bad shit.
Yeah, like what it does for this sort of thing. The reason like the gatekeeping thing is like important is it makes a space that you guys had and like I've had in different contexts that feels really important less meaningful because everyone can access it, right?
Yeah. And also too, like the gatekeepers, they can be bad people. You can have a
Yeah, dude,
you can
fuck
have a
gatekeepers.
crypt keeper. You know,
Fuck gatekeepers, dude.
Yeah.
Like everything should be made available. That's like what DIY is. Like things should be made available to people. But there's also something shitty about like there's a point at which like people start going to things because it seems cool, not because it's like a thing.
or someone comes in with bad intentions and there's no one to check them.
Yeah. So it's like not even that's like not a gatekeeper thing. It's like a thing of having community, which is maybe what the internet doesn't actually afford for, right? Like like having a real sense
But
of
is that a
community.
substitute for an actual physical community?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Like
I
a
think
subreddit.
Yeah. I don't think
is that really real?
some people for some people it is.
trolls.
So yeah, some people like have made their whole lives on the internet, which is mind blowing to me. But
Aesthetic.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's not the same thing. Like people need like physical spaces, like that. That's why, like the like house shows and like the APT and like all that stuff is really
The
important.
podcast.
Yeah, because like actually meeting up and fucking experiencing things with people is important. Yeah. Word.
Yeah, I feel like
Some deep shit, man.
with like the Tony Hawk thing, and like I can honestly say I never would have been exposed to skateboarding or that music otherwise.
But then,
I
yeah.
was the only one, and then
Yeah.
it formed from there.
And then, but it's important that you also you went out and skateboarded after the fact, right? Like you actually
yeah.
met people through skateboarding.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe part of that could be like this is like a special thing that I had that I was like people from way back in the day, like they were just lucky enough to be a part because it was all through luck. If you had to know someone or
Yeah.
so it's like, and now no disrespect, but maybe like they're butthurt that like, oh, now all these other people can have it.
Yeah.
But like I
You
had to
work for it.
I had to work for it, but it was just because you had like a cousin or like an uncle or an aunt that like knew
dude,
it.
that's a huge thing is like the idea of like the older sibling or older cousin that like introduces you to cool shit.
Yeah.
With like, so something that was true about my life is my mom was like 16 when she had me. My dad was like 20. So I grew up listening to music that they listened to, which was like Nirvana, right?
Damn. Not bad.
Yeah. Which was like good. Yeah. Alice in Chains, like the grunge stuff, which is all still my shit in some way. But it like,
Alice in Chains is definitely my shit.
I was just listening to Unplugged the other night.
the Unplugged album's great.
I love it.
Yeah. They the covers of that they do of, drank too much Mass Fry.
Yeah,
Name
it's-
the covers.
I fucking feel it,
Talking
dude.
about the Nirvana Unplugged?
Yeah. Alice in Chains is also
That's
sick.
hot.
feeling it, dude.
Worst grunge band of all time. It's fucking Pearl Jam, Even Flow,
Oh,
the best song to parody, which you also did on the podcast recently.
Yeah, I thought because for a second I thought you said Alice in Chains was the
they're
worst
Good. They're good. Yeah.
grunge band, but I hate that they got lumped in. They were a heavy metal band. I don't care what anybody says.
Well, that's the thing.
Alice in
like,
Chains was a
yeah.
heavy metal band. They were not grunge. I hate that term anyway, and I'm sure all the grunge bands hated it anyway.
That's the
but-
thing is like grunge came to mean
It
nothing.
didn't sound like any of
'Cause,
those
like,
other bands.
Pearl Jam is like just another band from that time.
Yeah.
They're not a
yeah. Stone Temple Pilots, fuck them too. I don't know if you guys fuck with them.
There's like a couple songs.
I love them.
Yeah.
Really?
I love them.
On a Sunday, only yesterday. Really?
Oh, I fucking love them.
Soundgarden's also
Dude,
pretty good.
Maybe it's
Not
just
gonna
because
lie.
it's like my childhood. I love that shit.
Yeah.
But like, I wonder, was it called grunge back in the day? Because stoner rock didn't become
that's a
stoner
real-
rock till later. The fans created stoner rock.
So yeah, like
I think the media created grunge.
So I feel like Alice in Chains back in
that
the
was like,
day.
that was like a music writer thing. Yeah. No, that's like Nirvana and Alice in Chains and all of them like self-described as like punk bands. Because like they all took from the Melvins, who took from Black Flag's like
Poison Idea.
My War, the second half.
Poison Idea. Too,
No
though.
shit.
That was
Yeah.
the big
They were from
Pacific Northwest
say,
band.
yeah.
Like Big Hump can speak more to this than I can, but like
And there's a bunch of other bands that like
Poison
Harp
Idea
and-
was like the huge fucking band from
Yeah.
there that they all loved.
Yeah, yeah.
They fucking. I don't know much about them, but they fucking rip.
Yeah. And, like in the Melvins, if you listen to Melvins, like that's just fucking heavy ass music. Like it's not. Yeah. And like Carp is a band that it's like a hardcore band that the name literally stands for kill all redneck pricks.
That's sick.
Which is like fucking amazing, and not grunge in that way that people talked about it or whatever later, right? Anyway, but yeah, that's all to say that like I didn't have the like older sibling to like introduce me to things. My parents introduced me to things, and some of that shit was cool, but it was also some of it was like my parents were also really into hair metal, you know, like fuck hair metal.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
trash.
I don't know. I kind of fuck with some of it.
Like who?
Well,
if you say Guns N' Roses,
no,
I'm gonna get up and leave this.
Like
this
I
secret
watched
location.
the Motley Crue film,
The Dirt.
and it's like those were just some like hard partying fucking dudes. I respect that. I guess I don't know.
I definitely don't not respect them. I just don't like. I don't care. I mean, I can respect them, but I like their
from
music.
what I mean, if like the movie's true, like they were some hard ass dudes. Like they would beat the fuck out of you if you fucked with them.
One thing that's wild
I don't know,
about
for sure.
those bands though is that they would like regularly come to Weedsport in Auburn. Like my parents,
Art Wenzel,
yeah.
rest in peace, would book them at the Weedsport Fairgrounds. I mean,
Yeah.
he booked Metallica, Guns N' Roses, like all these huge bands from the 80s and 90s.
My parents would like go and see it, like saw them a bunch when they were young, which is wild because like a band hasn't come to Weedsport in like my entire life.
Since Art Wenzel brought them there.
I think the last good band that probably played Weedsport was like the Deftones. Back when K-Rock was there.
K-Rock.
I fuck with Deftones. I mean, I'm a millennial, elder millennial, probably.
Band, I think. Yeah,
I never got into them. I think they're a band that you had to like be there for it, and I just never. That was when I was like in my rap phase.
The Deftones?
I'm not gonna say it's a phase because I've always liked rap, but that was when like I started to get heavily into rap.
Okay.
So like early 2000, I just missed out on all.
What's
that
your
stuff.
favorite new metal band? You gotta choose one.
I bet it's Korn.
Yeah, Korn rips though.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
It's gonna be Korn.
Yeah, that's my dogs.
I know the Follow the Leader album and the Issues album. And like I fuck with a lot of that shit. Like I'm not gonna try to be cool. Limp Bizkit, Significant Other. I thought that was a great record.
Limp Bizkit was all right. I fucking hate Fred Durst though.
Same.
He's a
that.
turd.
Yeah.
I hate
Rage
fucking-
Against the Machine is technically considered new
They
metal.
feel like something else.
They do.
but they're technically concerned. Or is that the right word?
Considered. Yeah.
Considered. I fuck with them. I don't like Linkin Park. I don't like Disturbed or like Coal Chamber.
That was the end of it, dude.
Yeah, I don't like any of that.
If you stick with Korn, you're in the good era.
Yeah,
Disturbed was when it was all turned to shit, dude.
Yeah, trash rock, like fucking Godsmack,
Hinder,
Butt rock.
Seether.
Butt
yeah.
rock.
Oh,
It's called Butt Rock.
if you listen to that, change the fucking channel right now.
Yeah, dude.
Seriously.
That was.
What's your favorite new metal record?
I like this topic. Thank you for that.
Yeah, my favorite new metal record is probably whatever like the most popular Korn record was. Like I love
Probably Follow the Leader.
Yeah,
that was when they were at
It
their
was
peak.
98, 99.
I fucking sometimes
life.
still just like because like Korn, those dudes look fucked up, but the music's heavy as hell.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's just so in your face.
Have you ever listened to the self-titled?
Mm-mm.
Dude.
You know who
I
could
might
really
need to go
speak
get the
on this a
speaker.
lot? Dustin Lovell and Sean Stein.
Oh, yeah.
Not just on Korn, but like new metal. They could really get in depth on this shit.
I'd like to have a conversation with him because, I mean, I'm 33, so in 99, I was 13, I think. So I was right. That was my shit.
Yeah.
That was my shit for a lot of years. So, yeah, I definitely like a lot of that shit.
Deftones considered new
Yeah,
metal?
Yeah.
they're lumped in that.
Yeah.
I don't consider them that.
They're like thought of as one of the like artier new metal bands, though.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
It's unfortunate they'll go down as a new metal band because I think they've gotten so much better than that. But I don't know if you consider a Perfect Circle new metal. They were kind of like the new
I
metal.
just remember that one song they had. It wasn't like a dude from
Tool.
Yeah.
The singer of Tool.
Oh man, Tool rules.
Tool is fucking amazing. I love that.
Yeah, Tool's so good. Did you like Tool?
I remember watching their videos on MTV as a kid and being very scared.
The new Tool record.
What's that
I
song?
haven't
just
listened.
came
Is
out.
it good?
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Dude, it's one of their best records.
Shelley
and it just
Pinker.
came out.
Oh, Kobe. Wow, not a drop spill.
Dry.
Drop.
I
That's
want
my
you
dog.
viewers to
Cat-like
know that
reflexes.
it's dry. Shelley Pinker invited me to a free Tool concert recently, but I couldn't fucking go, and I never heard from her again. Shout out to Shelley, except
Wait, you haven't heard from her in general, or just about the about the
it
Tool
was like
show?
it was like a week and a half ago. So
Oh, okay,
it's
that's
fine.
not
How
bad.
do we feel about Shelley, Joe?
I'm friends with Shelly.
Oh, okay. Because she was
Yeah.
talking some shit on one of our videos.
Oh, yeah. I
in
she
the
was
comments
just-
section.
I think she was just, I don't know.
What
She was
up?
trying to,
Comment below, Shelley.
she was just like,
We'll find out
some,
if she still listens.
some people just like to talk smack, but
It's all good.
I don't know. Like,
Maybe it's a good
What
thing.
is the comments section for, if not to talk
yeah,
shit?
like she's definitely a friend of the show,
Okay. Okay.
So
Oh,
I didn't care that she was talking shit. It's fine.
No, I took it deeply. fucking
one of my
personal.
first CDs was that original Kid Rock CD, which is Kid Rock is an abomination.
So he had his, but
Yes.
so his original new metal or original rapping, because he was a rapper
Oh,
in like
yeah,
92 or whatever. Like,
it was
whatever
the
Ba
first
with the
like
Ba
new
was
metal.
on.
I think Devil Without a Cause, was that what it was?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, I don't know,
Something
something
like
bad.
that.
Yeah. What a chump.
I mean, as a kid, I remember I thought that was cool, but like looking back on it now, he's definitely like a pud puller, and not in a good way.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's not
Eminem-
one of our friends.
Eminem also had like distinctly new metal vibes.
Yeah.
He was one of my
Yeah, they're similar in that I think that they appropriated black culture and to get famous, and then once they didn't need it anymore, they kind of moved it aside. And like
But that's also
Kid
kind-
Rock is like, I'm a rocker now, and I make this song called "Born Free," and I'm gonna rip off Werewolves of London and Leonard Skinner.
Eminem kept rapping though.
Yeah, but if you listen, B Guzzy got me wise to this.
Brian
Before he
Gusworth's
got
another
famous,
graduate.
he had a record called Infinite or something like that. And if you hear that record, it doesn't even sound like him.
Really?
The beats are way different. The rhymes are way different. And it just, on his major label stuff, it seems like he changed up his flow, changed up his lyrics, changed up his beats to sort of appeal to this like weird white trash crowd that doesn't like rap.
Yo,
It's
shout
like-
outs to 12-year-old me who is definitely part of that white trash
Yeah,
crowd.
it's like
Oh,
all
same.
these
Yeah,
all
same.
these guys that you see now, like I hate rap, but I love Eminem, and just
it's
his
code for I hate black people and I love white people.
and his
That's exactly
lyrical
Yeah, there's
content
no
was just
other
so white trash, and like he wanted to kill his mom and all this like weird shit.
Yeah.
I like no disrespect, like as like a wordsmith, he's a really good rapper, like putting rhymes together
As a
and stuff.
technician, yeah, he's good.
But I just never fucked with him at all. That did not appeal to me
I
at all.
loved Eminem when I was like 12.
First two records I liked.
I also loved Godsmack when I was 12. So for
Same.
context, yeah.
Now it's just like he's got this weirdest sound to his voice. It's like
Hi,
this-
kids. You like
he's
violence?
screaming. He's like fucking like. Like I don't fucking. I
didn't
don't
like
fuck with
it.
him at all. He's horrible. There's too many good artists out there to fuck with Eminem nowadays.
The thing about new metal in general, though, is that like Kid Rock and Eminem in some ways like more directly appropriated black culture, but like that's what new metal was, right? Like it was a reinterpretation of rap rock in a way that felt more exploitative than like the Beastie Boys, which were also appropriating, but
It depends, because I think the Beastie Boys, I mean, they were around at the birth of hip hop and hardcore and punk when all those kids would go to the same shows.
yeah.
They were a hardcore band.
They were a
They were,
hardcore
yeah,
band,
they were a
but
punk
they
band
were
before.
involved in the original hip hop scene in the late 70s, early 80s. So I think that's different. But There's bands like
but this is why like the question of appropriation is like deeply complicated.
yeah,
right? Like,
because and I think bands like Rage Against the Machine, like Zach De La Roca and Tom Morello are people of color, and you can tell like the way like their lyrics are, like they respect like the culture and they know the culture. I'm pretty sure Korn does. You know, like they know.
I don't know about Korn's politics.
Hip-hop. No, I'm not talking about like the politics. I'm talking about like they know like rap music and like the hip hop culture of it. But there were definitely some bands that were just like, okay, this is the sound of the moment. How can we make that hit record?
Yeah.
So that's where you kind of draw the line between like appropriator and like person who respects and loves and knows like the culture.
But this is actually like this may be the theme for tonight's episode. That's like the same kind of question as like the gatekeepers versus like
subculture or subreddit.
Yeah. Which is like it in some ways maybe it's like true that I agree with Rage Against the Machine's politics, and maybe like I agree that they have a sense of the culture that they were taking from, and the same could be said for the Beastie Boys. But there's also like for every racist like person that just loves Eminem because he's white, there was also maybe at least one or two people that were exposed to hip hop. The sad thing about that too is those people don't know that. They don't even know that. And if you were to point that out to them, they would get so defensive and they'd melt like the little snowflakes that they are. It's so weird. Mm-hmm. Yo, I was driving to Seneca Falls today to pick up this pie, whatever. And
they make great pies out there.
I saw
they're known for their pies.
Seneca Falls, known for their pumps and pies.
And women's rights.
Women's rights.
And women's rights, pumps and pies.
But on the way you got to go through Montezuma to get to Seneca Falls. Right?
Montezuma's Revenge.
Yep. And I saw so many in Port Byron and Montezuma, especially. So many Trump 2020 no bullshit flags where it's like it said or stop the bullshit.
Have you been following him?
Like,
is he openly swearing in his campaign now?
Oh, his latest thing now. He just did a rally in Florida, so these must be latest. Like these people are like true,
like
Trump
staying
fans.
up to the most recent shit or something.
Because his latest rally, he said his whole big thing, and that's what we think about Trump. His whole big thing at the rally was like impeachment is bullshit, and he kept saying it. So, of course, on DonaldTrump2020.com, they got the banners made in China probably the next freaking hour.
Definitely not union work that made your bullshit flags.
Went out and bought it. So that's his new thing now.
Yep. And here's another one.
That's literal
PUDCAST
bullshit.
shit, folks.
That's human shit.
That's how I feel about all that.
The thing about that is I don't even, it's like horrible in the ways that you're already pointing to, but it's like, what have you been watching? Like, what have you been seeing?
They've been brainwashed by 30 years of right-wing talk radio, like Rush Limbaugh, and then watching Fox News. If you talk to these people, they're in a completely different world. They've been
and memes.
They have been
fucking Facebook radicalizing your uncles and aunts left and right.
It really has. It has, because they think this shit's true. Like they put all this fake text over, like, yeah, this liberal killed this dog. And then everyone's like, yeah, liberals hate dogs.
And your crazy right-wing uncle is going to get a constant feed of that for years. Because that's how Facebook works.
This happened to my stepdad. He like fucking just watches YouTube videos, and there's some bullshit. This is the literal thing that has been like documented about YouTube. Like if you watch,
shout out to Wade, we love you, but we want to like
he definitely doesn't watch this podcast.
We want to sit down and talk to you, Wade.
Yeah,
we love you.
My stepdad's a union laborer. He's a good person. He's also just spent a lot of time on YouTube recently. And it's like a real thing about YouTube's algorithm that's like been documented by journalists. Like if you're on if you're on YouTube long enough, it will just filter you towards like right-wing extremism.
Oh my God, dude. I can speak to that personally.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's wild.
I listen to a lot of podcasts, and it kind of like steered me toward this one guy Well, I don't even want to say his name,
Don't give him the
No platform.
no platform.
but he's a comedian that has a podcast, and he's super, super fucking horrible. But yeah, they do. That shit's fucked up.
Yeah, it's wild. Because, like, yeah, the thing about Wade, my stepdad, and other people like him, presumably these Montezuma assholes, is that they also just don't have enough sense of like what the reality of the world to like have a place to speak on like what they're seeing. They just see someone talking about some shit, and then they're like, oh yeah, that must be true, which is understandable to some degree.
It's been scientifically proven that like when people hate and vent and rant, it releases endorphins in their brain, and then you feel good afterwards.
Yeah.
So it's like they hate and they rant, and then they got this fucking douchebag that like tells them all the things that they want to hear. You know what I mean? And it makes them feel good. So like they're voting for that and not for actual like results, because they're like dying from pills and living in a trailer and they have no health care. You know, a basket of deplorables.
The people dying from pills and living in a trailer are probably the biggest contingent of Trump fans.
Yeah. Yeah.
I gotta pee. I'll be right back though.
Piss break.
Piss break. These Cardi B rap snacks are way better than the Lil Boozies.
Really?
Oh, fuck yeah.
I gotta check my social media real quick.
I wish we had our EP here because I wanted to do like a live feed.
Yeah. Dude, they think that we're going out still.
Who?
Jesse and Tevin. And I'm like, come here if you're going to come here. We're not going out.
Have one beer. I'm not going to edit this out. Have one beer. Be on the podcast. Be Pud Pullers. Maybe I will edit this out because it's not going to do me good for me.
Like,
I'm going to edit this out.
I don't know how I have to explain it to people. And I said it that way. I said, come here, have a couple beers, sit over here, laugh or whatever, and just hang out, and then go to the bar. But they think now they're like, well, when are you guys going out? We're not.
I'm not fucking going out. I know personally, maybe you guys are. I mean, you guys are getting a ride from Jenna, so ultimately whatever she wants to do is probably what you'll do. Yeah. But I got to wake up. I got shit to do in the morning. I got to make my dips for PudFest.
I already made my shit for PudFest.
Damn, son, you're making me feel unprepared.
But I think this will work, like, if you edit this stuff out, like, and make it seem like, but there's some comedy gems in there. Like, when I'm at my phone, I'm like, I don't know what they want.
We can leave this whole thing. Say the word.
Well, I think if you do some selective edits, it might look sick. All right.
Jesus, I'm full of it now. Maybe I'll take a piss.
All right.
Do it.
You guys were on the shelf for that.
Yo, so you don't want to go out?
I don't know. Like,
I thought that was what, when I said, let's go to Curly's, get into a bar fight, I thought that's what
in a literal sense. See, I've been there, done that, and I don't want to go back.
We don't have to. Whatever's cool.
I'll probably end up going out once this mass riot's fully drank, and I got a couple more peepers under my belt.
I am drunk. This is mostly the can size, but it's like strong enough.
Yeah.
It's wild. I do still feel, so I'm like 3/4 of the way through this. I still feel like it's like good, but it's like, what was the hubbub?
It's D's.
But it like won awards and shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I'm not like a craft beer head, but like Flower Power, like it's sort of in that same realm.
Thing.
Flower Power is great. I'm not saying that's not great. I know we're denying our palates because we're not pouring into a glass.
Yep. Gotta get that aeration.
Yeah. So I don't really know. Will you try one of the rap snacks? You don't have to.
Let me see.
You don't have to.
Damn. Yeah, the sodium on this is wild.
Yeah, it's like
Shout out to Salt.
yeah.
Yo, there's a Cardi B quote on the back. Being successful in life and in the music business is all about being true to who you are.
Take notes.
Knowing your self-worth, never sweating the small things, and always following your gut instincts. If you follow the rule of thumb, it will eventually create a recipe for success.
Fucking love her.
Speaking truth, Cardi B, goddamn.
It's got MSG in it.
It does?
It does.
thought they banned that.
No, it's just this thing that they put on Chinese food menus that they don't have MSG in it. But there's MSG in a lot of things.
There's MSG in a
Kobe.
shit ton of stuff. Yeah.
and
Let me see.
they've cleverly
What does it say?
monosodium glutamate.
That's MS.
So I got to read the whole thing.
It's about midway. Dude.
I'm gonna read my other snacks.
Dude. I think the Doritos Fire have MSG in them.
Oh, Doritos definitely have MSG. Doritos sweet spicy chili. Shit's good.
I love them. But
What does
yeah.
that do to you?
It's a neurotoxin, right?
It's like not great, but it's also we're
I mean-
literally poisoning our bodies all the time.
I sit there and I'm all worried as I drink poison, as I put
Yeah.
poison into my body.
I think this is a worse poison overall. I mean, I don't know. It's a bad. MSG is fucking bad. They give it to lab
pounded
rats
that
to
bag
gain
of
weight.
chips.
Same. I tried to limit it. A lot of chips don't have it in it, but
Yeah.
some of the more hood rat ones do.
It's also
Monosodium.
it's really common
glutamate.
with
Okay.
it's really common with like mass produced shit like that.
Mhm. But the sneaky shit is, I think I was watching some documentary and they can call MSG a number of different things,
Yeah.
like hydrolyzed soy protein and shit. They can sneak MSG in many different ways, and yeah, it's fucked up. Gotta be careful
Yeah, the food industry is wild.
for sure.
Yeah, what's that book? It's like Sugar, Salt, Fat or something like that.
Oh yeah.
And like how they design certain salt to put on food that it's like hollow in the middle, so it dissolves on your tongue faster and it gives you like the buzz
That's fucking gnarly.
faster, and they like
that's-
make the food like designed so that you feel hungry like after you eat it, so you eat more.
Yeah. That's also the thing with like fast food, right? Like that I haven't seen this in years, but like that McDonald's documentary where the guy like eats McDonald's every day for like a month.
Yeah,
or whatever.
supersize me.
It's like it talks about how like the taste McDonald's has is something that's like engineered, like it's introduced with chemicals so that it becomes like addictive,
Yeah.
which is fucking bananas.
I've heard the same thing for Diet Pepsi. They had to engineer like a
Diet Pepsi,
some sort of thing that triggers something in your brain every time you drink it, and it's
Hmm.
not sugar, obviously, but
We had McDonald's this Monday.
yep.
Shouts to McDonald's.
Yeah, I'm sure
It was very expensive.
it was expensive.
It was like I got a Big Mac meal.
You went to McDonald's and left feeling it was expensive?
Fuck yeah.
They got rid of the
my
dollar
God. Didn't
menu,
get that
dog.
much
How
shit.
They
long
got
have you-
rid of the dollar menu?
Where have you been?
I've been vegan for 10, like 12 years at this
Okay.
point.
Go
so-
get an Impossible Whopper.
Well, you got a Big
I
Mac
got a
meal,
Big Mac
and
meal
a
with a
bottle
water.
of water, and I've got one breakfast sandwich and a coffee, and it was like what, $17?
$15.
$17 at fucking McDonald's?
Yeah,
That's wild.
and there wasn't that much food there. I mean, my breakfast sandwich was tiny and a coffee. He got a very modest meal. $17.
Yeah, you could spend $17 and like
You
go
used
out
to
and
get
get like
17
a fucking nice
McDoubles
ass.
there.
Yeah.
Legit meal.
For $17.
Wow. Damn. McDonald's isn't even affordable anymore.
Taco
No.
Bell used to be the cheap spot. They're like the worst now.
Yeah, and if you go to the Auburn one and there's more than 3 cars there, just turn right around.
Walk
Taco
on,
Bell is
homeboy.
also expensive?
Oh,
Even if you get the $5 box, it's
God
like no
damn.
food in there.
yeah,
No food
that's
for
that's
$5.
also one thing I've noticed too.
A suspect thing. The Burger King 2 for $6 is pretty dank, but if you go there, you're going to be waiting. Wendy's gives you a lot of stuff, but it's not that much stuff.
What?
Yeah, you'll get like they got like this like
Please
it's
explain.
like it was like a 4 for $6 or whatever. It was like a drink, spicy nugs, fries, and like Dave's classic burger or whatever for like $6, but it's like nothing.
What are the situations you find yourself going to like a fast food place? Is that because it's like the most convenient place to go to in the city, or is it like
I really,
That was because we wanted a quick bite before we got zapped.
Yep, it was a
because
quick thing on the way to Syracuse.
You don't want to get zapped on an empty stomach, folks.
On a typical week for me, I honestly try to avoid it. Typical situation for fast food, I don't know. On the way, I don't know.
like drive-through shit?
Yeah, I don't get it all that much. Taco Bell is like the only thing I've like held on to. I'm like, it's like a treat for me.
Yeah.
Like we got after the podcast like once, but I get coffee, but I don't really get fast food all that much.
I've really cut back on it. I used to go like 3-4 times a week.
To Taco Bell specifically, or
Just
like
any
a
fast food
place?
after work, because I work second shift, and it's just, you go there and you get a decent meal, and
Mhm.
it's just something to do when you get out of work,
Yeah.
I get depressed when I'm going through the line because you see like I mean it's terrible, but I mean at least they're getting fed. But you see like families with like little kids, and you're like, damn, they eat this shit like every day. You know they do.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm like,
when I was a kid, I
know?
I ate McDonald's all the
we
time.
ate fast food a lot.
Yeah, I love that's I like a weird thing. I know like Burger King has the Impossible Burger now, but I was like such a pro McDonald's kid because we ate McDonald's like fast food a lot, and I preferred McDonald's over everything else. Yeah, I've eaten fast food in like 12 years, but I still carry that bias.
That
with
has
me.
something to do with the
Shit.
imprinting they did to you at a young age with the
The
birthday
toy.
parties and the round
Oh, yeah,
McDonald
yeah,
and
I
the
had
Happy
so many
Meal
birthday
and the
parties at
Hamburglar
McDonald's. Yeah,
and
yeah,
Grimace.
Yeah.
Mayor McCheese.
there's no, because I remember like when a lot of our friends were vegan, there was like, oh, I can get the cheesy Fiesta potatoes without the cheese. Is there any sort of like
At McDonald's,
cheat thing you can get at any of the places? Like
I think you can do shit at Taco Bell, but I've never.
Taco Bell was always the spot.
Yeah, I've never like every place I've ever been since I've been vegan. There was also
Crunch
like,
wrap with beans instead of beef.
Yeah, there was always like a Chipotle or whatever, so I just go there.
Chipotle is awesome.
It's like more straightforward, but there are ways that you can like figure it out. And there are a ton of people who are vegetarian and vegan who are like absolutely stoked on like the Impossible Burger at Burger King because it's convenient.
But what are your thoughts on that? Because it's not very like ecologically friendly and it's very unsustainable.
Like the Impossible Burger in general, or like going to Burger King to get it.
Impossible Burger in general.
I think it's fine. Like it opens up more than it's like good for me. It like opens up the possibility for like a lot of like middle aged to like older people.
The impossible opens up the possibility.
Yeah. A lot of like older people who are like unaccustomed to the idea of like eating things that aren't meat. That like
Hey,
can
it's one of
taste
them
good.
plant-based burgers, huh?
They should like real sneakily like only do Impossible Burgers for like a full day and like be like, yo, you like that?
Yeah, can you tell?
You like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
No,
fucking like
but
that?
That's
yeah.
the thing.
You fucking like that shit? Now you
Yeah.
like Impossible Burgers. What's up?
The thing though is like there should just be less. Like people should just make more of their own food, you know?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah,
but
we've had this talk before. More
Yeah.
sustainability.
yeah. But like, it sucks because like I'm sure those families you saw and like my
making food, he's not like, oh, I made a rice-a-roni tonight. Like
No.
growing your own food.
yeah, people should just like make their own shit more often, which it doesn't mean necessarily like vegetarian or vegan food, but like just like having a sense of like where your food has actually come from and shit. But like that family you saw, and also true of me when I was a kid, like my mom didn't have fucking time to like make, let alone like have a garden or something,
Right.
you know? So it's like that also requires like a restructuring of how we imagine the work week, which is a good thing. Like we should reimagine the work week because
Oh,
that shit
fuck yeah.
sucks. Like
Oh.
40 hours is way too goddamn much. And if you're working overtime or multiple jobs, I'm sorry, that is also way too fucking.
You
That's
don't
like
even have
more-
time for McDonald's at that point.
Yeah, but how do you break the mentality of all these company men that fucking like have a boner about, I worked fucking 75 hours last week and blah, 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 blah. This idea that you got to work 80 hours to be like a real man or a real person.
So before
You're a bunch of bootlickers.
What were you going to say to that?
Oh, I was going to about the work week.
Yeah.
I've heard that in like Japan, like they laugh at us. They think like 40 hours is like a joke. But it just goes to show that they're so just indoctrinated in that whole like work. Like you live to serve a company.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
We create surplus value for the company and they exploit us. And these motherfuckers are swimming like Scrooge McDuck, that fucking cartoon.
Diving
He's
in the fucking gold
diving
coins.
through gold.
Shout out to Scrooge.
That's what they're doing. And you're allowing them to do it. And you're a fucking bootlicking stooge. And you're never going to learn. And you're going to keep doing it forever. And you're going to keep voting for Trump because it speaks to this weird fucking thing that you have in your mind that you've been brainwashed to do.
Do people work overtime a lot at Nucor?
Or you can't say where he works. Undisclosed location.
We can edit that out. It's all good.
Yeah.
The founder.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah. They just live for that place.
Because that's also like hard ass work. Like that's not like easy shit to do.
Not what I did. I'm sitting down all day.
That is also shitty in its own right, though.
Well, yeah. It's no way to live, man. Just to fucking work.
Is it like factory line shit where it's like you like you're pushing the same button or watching the same shit unfold all day? Or
Some people have it like that.
Yeah.
I'm in a crane, so like it's a little different. It's not as I don't really know how to describe it. Some guys are more manual labor. Some guys like me are sitting down running a machine or running a crane or something like that. It varies.
Yeah. Yeah, because like that's when people talk about managing the work week, I think they think most often of like that kind of work, of like factory work or whatever. But it's just true across the board. Like no one should fucking work that much.
Yeah.
Like
There's enough
Most
money.
people aren't working that full 40 hours either.
Yeah.
If rich people actually paid their fair share, there'd be enough money to go around where you could have like a 4-day work week and you could like hire more people and pay them a living wage.
Even like if people paid their fair share, like CEOs and that sort of thing, you could work a 40-hour work week, but also be like adequately compensated. So you can actually do other parts of your life. Yeah. Which you can't do most of the time with a 40-hour work week. I know with like a thing with like academic jobs is that like it appears to the outside world as like a really flexible schedule, right? Like you teach like 3 times a week and it's like a 2-hour class. So it's like, that's 6 hours. And then you have to write sometimes. And that's like maybe adds up to 10 or 20 hours. And it's like, that doesn't seem like a lot. But then there's also this like implicit expectation that you like serve on committees. And then you're like in meetings all the time. And then if you want to be a good teacher who actually cares about like your students, you end up meeting with them a lot. And so
you're not getting paid for that.
No, none of that shit is compensated. So it can end up being like,
and they use the do what you love defense to not pay you.
Yeah, which is like my least fucking favorite thing.
You don't care about the students?
Yeah. So it's like it ends up being that you work like 60 to 70 hours a week and you're making like a solidly middle class wage, right? Like most like faculty members at universities make between like 60 and 80,000, which is like fine.
But if you look at their degree and all the money and time,
like how much student loans do you have?
There's people with PhDs and chemical engineering that are making hundreds of thousands of dollars.
And the thing about that, which is what that speaks to, is like those people often end up working in private industries. But the university,
evil corporations.
The university has so much. Like all universities have so much money. Like so much money. The like the endowment of like the Ivy League schools is bigger than like 80% of countries' GDP. Like they have, it's like $1 billion. Just sitting there.
You know what they say about schools with big endowments?
Well endowed. It's hot. Must have big socks.
But that's that's like it that comes from like a white collar position. But these issues are like affect everyone across like kinds of jobs. You know.
Yeah, well, that speaks to, people don't see it as one fight as like us, like the 99% against the 1%. They're like, well, I'm a teacher and I fight for teachers. Well, I'm a nurse and I fight for nurse. I'm a factory worker. I fight for factory workers. Instead, they should be fighting together.
Yeah.
Thin brown line. Factory workers. How many fucking lines are there going to be now?
Mm-hmm.
I got thin brown line in my fucking undies.
White lines, don't do them. But that's the whole thing. And they've got
Sorry.
us all into our own little camps, and people share these memes like, yeah, the life of a teacher, the life of a, blah, blah, blah. But it's not like the life of a worker.
Yeah.
They don't see themselves as workers.
And that's like why this shit about like, I feel like people end up viewing their job as like either this is how I provide for my family or this is the thing I love to do. But both of those things are like, that's fine to view your job that way, but also that's not a precondition of like living, right? Like you should be able to do those things. You should be able to both provide for your family and enjoy what you do, regardless of how, like what your job is.
Yeah.
And you should be able to make a like responsible and adequate wage, regardless of whether or not you love your job and you're providing. You like that should always that's the minimum bar.
Yeah.
Right.
The whole idea of people should love their job is fucking
It's
bullshit.
stupid.
It's
I hate that so much.
bourgeois fucking white
Yeah.
bullshit.
Yeah. The idea that you like I'm willing to sacrifice because I love my job. It's like, go fuck yourself. Like, pay me. Give me health insurance. I don't love
Fuck you, pay me.
I would rather not work, right? Like, I'd rather not have a job. So you might as well fucking pay me the right amount.
Yeah.
I don't
Hell
care how
yeah.
much I love this shit, Because I would have a great time not working and be sick. I'd read some books, play some video games, listen to a few records. And
Hell
nice,
yeah. Nothing
games are
wrong
you
with
playing
that.
now?
What games am I playing right now?
Yeah.
Playing this. I'm still playing Horizon Zero Dawn. Did I tell you about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because when the semester started, I took a break from it. But Horizon Zero Dawn, it's a great game. It's about like a future world in which AI have like taken over.
Allen Iverson.
Practice. We talking about practice.
Practice.
That's a tie into Philly.
And so yeah, you are uncovering this like secret history of how these like robots came to take over the world. It like talks about climate change and digital technology, which is my shit.
That's hot.
What are you playing? You playing anything?
I was doing The Last of Us
The Last of Us, sick.
revisited or whatever on PS4, and
The new one's coming out soon.
I haven't played it in a long time.
Did you like it?
Wasn't what I was expecting. I thought it was just going to be sort of like a shoot 'em up kind of cool story thing, but it's like this like survival horror, and you got 5 bullets in your gun, and there's like 12 zombies, but you got to move like a dumpster and like move this thing over here, and I'll probably end up finishing it, but it wasn't what I expected it to be.
You play video games ever?
Not really. I've heard Santa might be bringing Jack a Nintendo Switch, so I'm pretty pumped for
Oh,
that.
nice.
I've heard he might be bringing him one.
Could we have a Mario Party here?
Yeah, I'm safe to say that we'll be having a Mario Party late
Party
December.
rules.
Nice.
No, not currently, but I love video games.
Yeah. There's a really good one that came out this year for Nintendo Switch called Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, I want to get that.
It's
Zelda.
supposed to be really good. Yeah. Yeah, it's like the newest Zelda game.
Never got into Zelda.
Me neither, but
Couldn't figure it out.
I was never like after Nintendo 64, I never did Nintendo shit though,
Yeah, that's when they sort of like, we're not going to be like the cutting edge anymore. We're going to be
Yeah.
like the fun kind of
Very
standby.
niche.
Yeah.
I had a GameCube actually. But yeah, that era of original Xbox, PS2, PS3. Yeah, Nintendo was in the toilet. But you have
Turn
to
it.
really love the Nintendo world to have lived through that era.
And so much of their shit's so heavily branded. It's like the Mario universe, you know? Like
Zelda.
You have to like love those characters. a
Mario,
ton.
Zelda, Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
There's a few others that are a little more lesser known, but
I remember the Wii came out though. People fucking loved the idea of the Wii so
yeah,
much.
the Wii was a little bit of an uptick for them.
It was like a tangible thing. It wasn't just like, oh, I'm going to stand up and,
Right.
And then we all figured out you could just go like this.
I remember playing Wii Sports at like every person's house for a while. Yeah. Which is, you play boxing, you're like getting into it, but then eventually you realize you could just go like
A little flick of the wrist, a little English on the wrist. That's
All
enough.
about the wrist
flick of the
action.
wrist.
Yeah, but you can make your own me, and it looks like you.
But the Nintendo
Very
Switch
fun.
is a sick system.
Yeah. And that's actually the thing they've been the best at, which is like making those like handheld systems too, like things that you could carry with you. I see
I
some
love handheld shit.
I see so many people with their like Switch on the subway, which is wild that you can like take that shit on the go with you.
They
That's
got a
cool.
new one that's like it's like smaller and it's an all-in-one. It's not like the two controllers. It's like a small. It's like I think it's called the Light or something like that. Yeah.
It's wild.
Hopefully Santa brings Jack the regular one. I think he might.
He's building it as we speak in his workshop.
The elves. There's
Old
a special
Mr.
bunch of elves
Claus.
that make those.
I think Big Hump has a Switch.
Really?
Yeah, he was talking about something to do with the Switch.
No
I have,
shit.
I have a hard time for some reason imagining Will playing video games, but
I see him as like an Xbox guy.
He was a big Resident Evil person.
Okay, so that was
PS2.
yeah.
do you remember that fucking game where there's like a clown car that you blow up?
It was that Twisted
Twisted
Metal.
Metal.
Yeah.
Twisted
Sweet Tooth.
Metal.
Twisted Metal Black.
Twisted Metal.
That was
That's
that was fun.
They got to bring that back. I had Twisted
I'm
Metal
surprised
3.
they haven't brought that one back.
Oh man.
They should. It was
What
like
was that clown's name?
Sweet Tooth.
Sweet Tooth.
Yeah. It was like a post-apocalyptic world, and it was like
Fucking
car
clown.
warfare, and like all these different cars, and they would battle each other.
Did
Sweet
you
Tooth had the ice cream truck.
Speaking of cars, did you ever go to a like monster truck rally / like demolition derby when you were a kid?
Yep, in Wheatsport.
Yeah, they're fucking sick. I
Yeah.
went to one that featured Stone Cold Steve Austin driving the monster truck.
Chris Riley was there.
It's awesome. I
Did he
think Jenna was there
Fucking
too.
ruled. Yeah,
Pounded
fucking
him.
ruled. I waited in line for so long for Stone Cold to sign my like poster or whatever, but he was like, "Sorry, I gotta go fucking destroy some cars." And he bounced.
Damn.
You never got your poster signed?
Austin 316, my ass. Yeah, no, I didn't.
So you were a
Cold,
wrestling
reach
kid
out.
back in the
I
day?
loved professional wrestling.
That's my dog.
Yeah. I used to go to the video store in Wheatsport and rent the pay-per-views from like the 80s.
There was a video
Yeah.
store there?
Yeah, in the Wheatsport Mall, which is like
There's a mall
News to
there?
me.
Yeah, it's you ever been to the Chinese place in Wheatsport?
I've heard it's awesome.
Limbo. Yes.
Limbo used to be direct subs, and right next to that place was the mall, but it was just like a it was like a fucking building with random ass business. I think that one of the businesses now is like a waffle iron like company,
Artisanal waffle
Yeah, they
irons.
like make waffle iron parts.
So it was a
Wow.
mall in the literal old school sense of just like a corridor.
Yeah, and like the front store was like a video store for a long time, and
No
we'd
shit.
go there even before I lived in Wheatsport to like rent videos. Yeah, and I rented Serial Mom. Do you ever watch that movie?
Mm-mm.
It was a John Waters film.
Yeah, it's about a
Yeah.
mom who's a serial killer.
That's hot.
It was sick. And also all of these like pay-per-views from the 80s of old school wrestling. Yeah, had
What's your favorite?
my favorite ever was Sting, WCW.
I was a big Sting guy too.
Yeah,
I had a Sting fanny pack.
that's sick.
Yeah. I wish I still had
What?
it.
he would come down from the rafters and he never talked.
Yeah, and he had the like
He's
he had
like-
the fucking bat.
Sick face paint.
Yeah,
He looks like
he
a
was-
black metal.
Yeah, he
dude.
was so cool. So fucking cool. And then after that, it was like probably Stone Cold.
Stone Cold was awesome.
I never got into the WWF as it was known back then. I was more of a WCW guy.
Nothing wrong with that, dude.
Who'd you like from WCW?
If
If not Sting.
I fucked with Roddy Piper
Oh.
heavily. The
Can't
Four
go wrong.
Horsemen, Ric Flair.
One of the original wrestlers to transition well into movies.
Yeah, we talked about that
Yep.
on here.
Yeah.
They Live. But then, like, looking back as an adult, I have to say Macho Man Randy Savage. His
Yo, I
promos
fucking
were the
love
best.
Randy
We've-
Savage's promos.
Yeah,
They're
I
so
think
funny.
We talked about this with Jeff Says, but
Yeah.
still, I mean, I want to know your thoughts about it.
They're so funny. Like I actually had,
Unjustifiably in a position I cannot be in, but the cream
and he was always like,
to the top. Oh yeah, Macho Madness.
he'd like punctuate every sentence with the oh, which is like so good. One of the last weeks I was in Philly, I had a person walk up to me and go, "You look like Macho Man Randy Savage," which is a fucking weird thing to hear.
Weird flex, but okay.
Yeah, because
like, you really don't look like him.
I
at
don't
all.
look like Macho
No.
Man Randy
I'm trying
Savage.
to see it, but I
also
don't.
don't have a Macho Man Randy Savage energy. But when someone says that they remind you of Macho Man Randy Savage,
Were you like extra bronze? Was it the summertime?
and like flexing, and, oh, walking down the street.
Yeah, brother.
I think Jake the Snake Roberts had some of the best promos
Unsung
going.
hero.
Jake the Snake Powers.
He's
His-
finally
yeah.
got clean. I saw his documentary.
Go back and watch some of his promos. He should have been an actor. He was fucking awesome.
Yeah, he was good. That's where the Austin 316 thing came from. Was he was like responding to Jake the Snake Roberts or whatever.
Really?
Yeah. It was like
I never knew the
Little
origins.
history lesson right here.
I
Yeah.
love these history lessons, dude.
From the blue collar scholar.
I was also like when I went WCW, I like loved Undertaker, like the
Oh, fuck
Kane,
yeah.
like the theatrics of that shit. Like
Paul
when,
Bearer.
when Undertaker would
From
like sit up
sheer
straight,
terror.
like turn and look at someone, that was always the best. I love that shit. But yeah, I remember having a conversation with my I would do wrestling moves on my toddler brother and also
Shouts to Troy.
our
Yeah.
dog. What's up, Troy?
The dog.
A dog named
Tombstone
named
pile drive the dog.
Yeah. And my mom, it got to the point where my mom was like, had my dad talk to me about it, and I was like, that wrestling's fake, right? And I was like,
It's real in my heart,
no,
man.
no.
Still fucking real to me, damn it.
Yeah, I said like I had a body pillow for some reason with me at the time, and I did a power bomb on the pillow and pointed at it and said, "You're gonna tell me that's fake?" And
That's fucking real, Dad. Fuck you, Dad.
Yo.
I was stone
That's
cold as
hard
my
as
dad.
fuck.
He'd understand.
You're going to tell me that's fucking fake?
Look at that pillow. It ain't saying shit.
That pillow's fucked up. Fucked up. Dead body pillow.
Bodied him.
You don't know when you're
That's
like,
what-
Y'all want to
five,
see
you know?
y'all want to see a dead body? Right there.
Check out this pillow.
Boys in the Hood style. What's good?
Did you ever put wrestling moves on any of your
We watched. I don't think we reenacted it, honestly. Surprisingly enough, we were like early 90s wrestling fans, and then like when Stone Cold was getting popular, we were honestly
On the way
getting out of it.
Yeah.
But I like looking back, I wish I like was into that era more. I think it's fucking cool. I find it to be more entertaining than UFC. UFC,
Because wrestling's about the stories.
Fuck
UFC
yeah.
is like fucking weird.
Yeah,
it's
don't
about
like it.
brutalization. Yeah.
yes.
I loved it as a kid. When I got into my teen years, I'm like, this is fucking whack.
Oh, for
But
sure.
As an adult, I can appreciate it. It's just
UFC?
it's- no,
Wrestling.
pro wrestling, because it's like theater. It's
Yeah.
like working class theater.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's all. It's just fun.
It's fun as fuck.
You know, like it's like the outcome may be staged, but it's like the physical toll it takes on them is real.
It is
So
real.
it's-
Absolutely.
There's a
Like
lot
I
of
definitely
reality
respect
to
it a
that.
lot, and I
And
wish
those dudes have to like work.
I wish I paid attention to it more. But
Me
it's
too.
like I'm not going to be one of these fucking nerds that like goes like not saying you were a nerd when you were a kid, but like these people that are older than me that like, oh, I'm gonna watch this tape from 1982. And
It's like a Hard
fucking-
Times article. Like, oh,
Yeah,
that is
old
a Hard
hardcore
Times
dude
article.
returns to like his wrestling roots, and all of a sudden is like the biggest wrestling fan on earth.
Yeah.
Like yeah, I wish I could
Like I'll see all like the videos and like the promos and stuff and laugh. I'm like, oh yeah, that was
Yeah.
fucking cool. But it's just like, yeah,
it's not a part of my daily life, although I
Yeah.
do fuck
Like,
with it overall.
I miss the boat. Salute, like,
yeah.
Mhm.
God bless.
It was
You know?
also like for the most part like that like what made that era of wrestling entertaining is like no longer like what happens in wrestling. Like the kinds of characters that they developed it's just like no longer the same
like that
thing.
anymore.
No, so I had a roommate in Philly who was like still super into
In a
wrestling.
non-ironic way.
Yeah, and so like I would sit down sometimes and watch it with him, and it's all like it all engages like Twitter and stuff, and you like the characters like invite you to comment on what they're doing, and it's like a totally different shit. It's just like not the same thing.
Yeah, they're like, well, we had 72% of your Twitter comments wanted
Yeah.
you to do this, so
And
you're gonna have to break up with your girlfriend.
And
Blah,
the
blah.
characters are much more like niche, like than they were when I was a kid. And
Oh
like,
fuck yeah.
They like yeah. There's like this tag team that their like thing is that they like wear unicorn colors, and it's like just not like Stone Cold was great as a character because that's like a character everyone can relate to, like not giving a fuck.
Beer drinking,
Yeah,
bald
yeah.
badass.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's like the Rock also is like a similarly great character because he's like
Love that guy.
I'm gonna be just like a charismatic asshole, you know.
There's
not
a character in WWE, I can't think of his fucking name right now. But he like won the title belt, but he had it redone as like a sustainable instead of like being like leather and fucking brass. It's like
So-
it's like hemp and like
So
fucking
dumb.
like soapstone. It's like it's very niche.
Yeah,
Biodegradable.
that is some wacky
Belt.
ass shit.
It's very
I want to know
wacky.
who's the person that comes to wrestling and says, you know, this would be great, but I wish it were more sustainable.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
he's his character. He's like a guy with a beard with long hair that's from Eugene, Oregon.
Shout outs to you guys. With
What the
beers,
fuck is his
long
name?
hair.
I think Jack has his
Is it
figure.
Nick Silcox?
Yeah. I prefer my wrestling championship belts made out of hemp. Yeah, that's true.
Get it commissioned by some company and get it done.
Then you could smoke it. Oh, the
Hell yeah.
I passed fucking so on the way to Seneca Falls. I don't know what I was doing. I was driving around Auburn this morning. Family Video on their
CBD oil.
Yeah, dude, their sign out front says we have the purest CBD in the city, which is like who's going to Family Video to get that dank CBD?
I think
Right.
that's what's keeping them afloat.
Honestly, it's their last ditch effort to
fucking
stay relevant.
wild.
Yeah.
Because like also I don't know who the hell goes to Family Video at this point anyway, but I can only assume people are going there to get porn if that's like.
Yeah, and according to Jake, it's softcore porn.
But then
Yeah,
it's
they
like-
don't sell hardcore in Cuba County.
which is a weird law. But
Right.
who's like Friday night is like gonna go hit up CBD and the softcore section
Get
and
a right
Family
click
Video.
and get some CBD. Put some drops under my tongue and fucking enjoy this movie. Yeah.
That is
it's
so
embarrassing.
weird. Yeah, it's so weird.
Fucking CBD.
I've never done CBD, but I don't even know. Like, I don't know what the like medicinal thing. I don't know why that's so popular.
It's supposed to be really good for pain and like anxiety. So like if you have pain, it's a super high dosage. And
Why not just smoke pot though? Like,
it's it's legal for people who can't smoke pot. It's like if you take drug tests for work or
Oh,
probation,
Right.
or
That makes
people that don't
sense.
like to get high. But like honestly, just get high.
Yeah,
Hold on.
It'll
Excuse me,
actually
boys.
be good.
that makes sense that it would be for people who have drug tests or whatever.
Right.
But it's also like it seems weird that everyone like they're like CBD infused lattes and shit. Like it's
Yeah.
just
I
everywhere.
think it's just a fad.
It doesn't make any sense.
A lot of placebo effect going on. People think they're doing something cool by getting it in their latte, but
You do the real thing, you pussies.
right.
Go smoke some fucking grass.
Yeah, if you want a CBD latte, you should probably just get high and then drink a latte.
And then just
Yeah.
or just get high and just go get a coffee with cream in it.
Get high and go get a scummy fucking Dunkin' Donuts house roast. Like, yo.
Or get high at my house and I'll make you all a pot of coffee.
And
It's all
don't
good.
and walk or get someone to drive you there. Don't
Unless you're a professional.
Don't drive and be high.
Sorry.
don't drive high.
Don't
folks.
listen to me. Although you probably could. Yeah, we're at a
Damn.
minute. We're at an hour 50. Should we just end it, boys?
Oh, that's cool.
The hang does not need to end.
Yeah, I think that's a good time to end it.
Yeah, hour 50. People get scared when they see 2 hours. Like, oh my God, I have to watch this.
It's daunting.
Just watch a few minutes.
Like my dad who's not seen a single one of these.
Shout out
He'll
to
be
like,
to
Bob
Bob.
He'll
Horser.
always be like, yeah, I go see it's like 3 hours long. I don't have time for that.
Just fucking watch a few minutes, Bobby. I'll buy
Bob,
some
yeah.
corn from you next spring.
Bob
if you
stays
do.
listening to NPR
Yeah.
though all day. So
Shit, I fucking lost my voice trying to do my dad's voice. But
Perfect timing.
do you have any final thoughts for the people out there? While I regain my voice.
yeah, I mean, I guess I hope if you're listening to this, you took something from that conversation about what punk is and what it does for people. But yeah, thanks for having me.
Dude,
Always down.
it's a
to,
pleasure.
Always down to hang out.
You're now a pud puller?
Yep,
You always been a pud puller.
Yeah, before
that's
we
true.
even
That's
started
absolutely true.
All right, y'all. Peace.